Hey there! In this video, we're in conversation with Ananya Patwardhan, who got the rank 19, yes 19, at the Common Law Admission Test held recently, and she's headed to NLU, National Law University at Bangalore. So continue to watch this video for all her tips and success mantras. And she also topped the ICSE board examination in her year 10 about 2 years ago. So go back and look at part 1 of this series for all her preparation tips on how to crack that exam. And meantime, stay tuned to look out for the secret ingredient to crack the CLAT. So Ananya, congratulations, you've got a rank 19 in CLAT.
Thank you so much.
And you're headed very quickly to NLU in Bangalore.
Bangalore, yes, that's right.
I went through some of the interviews with you when you topped the ICSE, and right then 2 years ago you said, I want to become a lawyer.
Yes, I did.
What helped you decide that early?
Towards the end of 10th standard, I had taken a couple of aptitude tests in which I was told that I would do well in a profession related to languages, communication. And I was told that law might be one of them. Mm-hmm. And I also spoke to some students at present studying in national law schools. And their guidance and tips really helped me take this decision that I wanted to do law.
Okay, so straight in the 10th you knew where you were going.
Yeah.
And so how early did you actually start preparing for these entrance exams?
So I began in 11th grade itself.
Okay.
But I didn't focus as much as I should have in 11th. So the majority of my preparation began in 12th standard.
Okay. And which board were you in?
I was in the Maharashtra State Board,
the
HSC.
Okay, for the 11th and 12th.
For 11th and 12th.
Okay, now let's look at scheduling, because there are 5 sections and some sections probably need different kinds of, time and attention.
Yes, indeed. So GK is a section which requires constant preparation.
Right.
So you cannot neglect it even for a day. So you need to do that throughout the year because there are at least 30 news items every day. So it's difficult to keep a track of it if you don't do it on that day itself.
Okay, so can you guide them, because GK is a big one, can you guide them how to quickly get the right kind of news items, how to keep track of it, and any sources?
Yeah, so I think initially it would make sense to experiment a little, probably the first 2 weeks of June. So you can read newspapers, you should read newspapers. If not for GK, it definitely helps if you read the editorials.
Okay.
That helps in your vocabulary and for reading comprehension.
Okay.
Then from those newspapers, you can make your own notes.
Okay.
So you can keep a book in which you can collect the news from throughout the year. You can divide it into sections like important days, appointments, awards, important people who died this year. Because they ask all these things in CLAT. They may ask all these things.
Okay.
So you can make a compilation of your own from newspapers, from online portals like GK Today or Jagran Josh. There are one-liners available, headlines available. So you can read those headlines, read up a little more about that topic. It really helps if you refer to various sources, because then you can ensure that you're not missing out on any particular news item.
Right. You didn't use an app, I'm gathering, because you didn't use social media, or did you?
I wasn't as isolated as I was in 10th.
Okay.
So I did use apps. So Affairs Cloud or Jagran Josh. In Shorts is a very good app which gives you news in 60 words.
Right.
So all these apps you can explore. So that's what I'm saying. In June you can explore, you can see what works out for you. You can try out various strategies and then continue with those throughout the year.
Okay, so GK you did right from the beginning till the end, every single day.
Even when you're preparing for your boards. So February, March will be when you focus on your boards naturally.
Yes.
So even then you should at least try to read GK every day.
Great, that's a great tip. Let's talk about the English.
English, yes. So for English, you have grammar, you have vocabulary. Now, many people wonder what to do for vocabulary. So one way to learn those words would be to use flashcards.
Okay.
So if you're, say, traveling to college and it takes you about an hour to get there, you can keep some flashcards with you, or maybe have an app which has a set of flashcards.
Right.
And then you can use those to learn the words, use word associations, maybe learn the root words that can help you remember those.
Right.
And like I said, reading the editorials from papers like Hindu or Hindustan Times is useful because that gives you a good idea about what can be asked in the reading comprehension.
Right.
Or just getting a good grasp of good English language.
And mathematics seems to scare some people, especially if they haven't done math in 11th and 12th.
True.
So could you tell them something about how maths is it scary at all or?
I didn't think so, not as much, but many people do find it scary. But I would strongly advise against neglecting maths because those are 20 marks that you can really pocket. And because many people are afraid of maths, they may choose not to attempt it at all.
Right.
So if you have attempted it, you get an edge over others.
Okay.
So maybe you can begin by practicing questions, say 10 questions every day, an assortment. So maybe you could pick some from algebra, some from arithmetic, some from simple interest, etc. So for maths too, I would recommend regular practice.
Regular. Okay, so through the 11th standard and 12th standard, do these three things. So in English, along with GK and math, in English, is there any books that you recommend that they should read?
So for grammar, they could use the standard ones like Wren and Martin, for example, or for vocabulary, you could use Word Power Made Easy.
Okay.
But apart from that, using these flashcards for vocabulary is, in my opinion, good enough.
Okay. So do these three things regularly.
Yes.
Now coming to the logical and legal reasoning sections, what was your strategy for those two?
So for legal reasoning, I would recommend referring to the past CLAT papers.
Okay.
Because what happens is many a times these questions get repeated in some form or the other. So going through the past CLAT papers or even papers from say NLS, NALSAR, their past papers before CLAT came into existence.
Right.
And for legal knowledge, you can use books like AP Bharadwaj or other websites which have a compilation of these facts.
That should be good. So where can a student get these past papers from?
So the CLAT papers are I believe, available for download online.
Okay.
And if you want the ones before CLAT exam, I think you're supposed to write to the individual university and you can purchase it directly from them.
Okay. And the mock papers that you tend to do, how
Yeah,
about those?
so mock tests are, in my opinion, really important for an exam like CLAT because I consider mock tests not to be something that you do once you're prepared.
Okay.
But it is something that helps you in your preparation.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a different strategy this time.
That is a different strategy, yes. See, because a mock test helps you get familiarized with a variety of new questions. Right. And you do that in the given amount of time, that is 2 hours.
Right.
So you can actually see how you perform under pressure. The most important aspect of mock test, I believe, is the analysis that you conduct later.
Right.
So once the test is done, you make sure that you identify what your weak areas are, work on them before the next test, make sure where you are wasting time, where you can utilize your time better.
Okay.
So I would strongly recommend taking mock tests.
So you were taking mock tests more or less right through the 2 years?
So initially I spread the mock tests across the months,
right.
But towards the end, that is in April, I started taking almost one mock test every 2-3 days.
Okay, that's when your board exams had gotten over.
Yes, because you have nothing to do but for CLAT.
Right.
So you can focus all your attention and time on CLAT, and taking a mock test is a good way of doing that.
And how long do you spend on that entire exercise of taking the test, analyzing it and all of that?
So taking the test is 2 hours,
right.
And after that you can spend around 1.5-2 hours just going through each question that you attempted, seeing, okay, why did I get this wrong? Why did I not attempt it? Which other approach could I have used to ensure that I got this question right? So I think this analysis is really important because that helps you understand what your level of preparation is and how you can work on it.
So Ananya, these mock tests now seem to be like the most crucial element of our preparation.
Yes, indeed.
How can a student get hold of these mock tests?
So if you are enrolled in a coaching class, then
Right.
they provide you with these tests.
Okay.
Or if not, then there are several test series that are available online.
Okay, any particular one that you would recommend, or have you tried any?
I personally tried, apart from Career Launcher, I tried the Sriram test series. But I am sure that there are several others available that one can avail of.
Okay. And their favorite question on coaching classes, they constantly want to know, do I have to go to a coaching class? Can I do it on my own?
So for ICSE, I said that it could be done even without a coaching class,
Right.
but I wouldn't recommend that for an exam like CLAT.
Okay.
The main reason for that is it's a competitive test, and a coaching class is a good way of getting an idea of the competition around you.
Right.
and the tips from the faculty, or the way in which the exam should be attempted, the techniques, the strategies while actually taking the test.
Right.
Those are very important inputs.
And also because they don't have that school support, they don't have the textbook support, which ICSE was offering to them. Tell me one really important thing they all want to know is there are a number of law entrance exams.
Yes.
Right? And they want to know which one should they take and what are the differences between them. So tell us something about that.
So the main one is CLAT, which is for 18 national law schools all over India. So this test has 200 questions with negative marking, and it's a 2-hour test.
Right.
Apart from that, there is ALIT, which is for National Law University, Delhi. So that has 1.5 hours, 150 questions, 150 marks, and no negative marking. Then you have the SET, which is the Symbiosis Entrance Test for Symbiosis Law School, Pune.
Right.
That is a 2.5 hour test, 150 questions, no negative marking.
Okay.
And the fourth test that I appeared for is the MHCET Law, which is the Maharashtra-based common entrance test. That has 2 hours, 150 questions, and no negative marking.
So is it easy and feasible to do all 4 of these tests?
It is, because the syllabus is most probably the same.
Okay.
The content that you're supposed to prepare is same across the tests.
Right. Okay. So by practicing papers of each individual test, they can
It
get
can
that.
be done. Yes, it can be done.
Talk about this other exam called LSAT. And why didn't you take that, and what's the difference you think between that and...
So I personally didn't opt for LSAT because I was keen on getting into a national law school, which was offered by CLAT.
And coming to the negative marking that you mentioned, some exams have, some don't.
Yes.
But the ones that do, like CLAT does have negative marking. What was your strategy when you looked at a question that you were a bit unsure of?
So for CLAT, the negative marking is -0.25. And many people choose not to attempt questions that they are unsure of in fear of losing those marks. But what I would recommend is that if you can easily eliminate 2 options out of 4, you should definitely attempt it, because the odds are in your favor. If you can eliminate just 1, then you should go with your gut feeling. If you feel that, okay, maybe I am somewhat sure of the answer, then you should go for it. But if you can't eliminate anything, then you should stay away from attempting that question. But it is very important to take educated and calculated risks in an exam like CLAT, because if you attempt only 120 questions, then there's no way that you can score 140.
Absolutely.
So you need to have a large number of attempts. So you need to attempt at least, say, 160, 170 questions to hit a score of 140, 145.
So Ananya, that was extremely helpful, and I'm sure everyone watching the show is going to love this episode.
I hope so, yes.
And thank you so much, and wish you all the luck
Thank you
for
so
your
much
National
for
Law
having
School.
me here. I had a great time.
Thank you for being here. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this show. So please put in any questions or comments or clarifications that you want in the comment section of this video at the bottom, and press that little red button to subscribe to the show, and keep watching a new video every week from us. Thank you.